Emily hadn't been back to her childhood home in years. After her parents passed away, the house had been left untouched, filled with memories that she wasn't ready to confront. But now, with the house set to be sold, she had no choice but to sort through the remnants of her past. The attic was the last place she wanted to go. It was filled with dust-covered boxes, each one a time capsule of her life before everything had changed. As she sifted through old photo albums, letters, and trinkets, her hand brushed against something small and cold. She pulled it out, a tarnished silver locket. The locket was simple, unadorned, yet inside it held a photo of her and James, her first love. They had been inseparable in their youth, their romance a whirlwind of passion and dreams, but life with its twists and turns had pulled them apart. She had left for college, and he had stayed behind to care for his ailing mother. Distance and time had done the rest. Emily's heart ached as she stared at the photo, memories flooding back. She hadn't thought of James in years, but now, holding the locket, it was as if no time had passed at all. The locket was a reminder of a life she had almost forgotten, a life she had buried under the weight of responsibility and routine. On a whim, Emily decided to visit the small town where she and James had grown up. She told herself it was just for closure, a final goodbye to that chapter of her life. The town hadn't changed much, though it seemed smaller than she remembered. As she walked down the familiar streets, she was flooded with memories. Every corner, every shop, every bench held a piece of her past. It was overwhelming. Then, in the distance, she saw him. James was sitting on the same bench where they had shared countless hours talking about their future. He looked older, of course, with a few gray hairs and lines on his face, but his smile was just as she remembered. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the world fell away. They approached each other hesitantly, unsure of what to say after so many years. But as they talked, the years melted away, and they found themselves slipping into the easy rhythm they had once shared. Over the next few weeks, Emily and James spent more time together. They walked through the town, visited their old haunts, and talked about everything and nothing. It was as if no time had passed at all, yet everything was different. They were older now, more cautious, but the connection they shared was undeniable. The locket became a symbol of their rekindled romance. Emily wore it every day, a reminder of the love they had once shared and were rediscovering. But as much as they tried to recapture the past, the reality of their lives kept intruding. They both had careers, obligations, and lives that had been built separately. One evening, as they sat by the lake where they had first kissed, James took her hand. "Emily," he began, his voice heavy with emotion, "I never stopped loving you, not for a day, but we can't pretend we're the same people we were back then." Emily's heart broke at his words, even though she knew he was right. They had both changed, and no matter how much they wanted to, they couldn't simply pick up where they had left off. The locket felt heavier around Emily's neck as the days passed. She knew their time was running out, that their rekindled romance was bittersweet and fleeting. They had both tried so hard to make it work, but life had other plans. On their last night together, they danced under the stars, just as they had done so many years ago. The world seemed to stand still as they held each other close, neither wanting to let go. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, they knew it was time. Emily unclasped the locket and placed it in James's hand. "Keep this," she whispered, her voice trembling. "It was always meant to be yours." James nodded, tears in his eyes. "I'll never forget you, Emily." With one final kiss, they said goodbye. Emily walked away, knowing she would never see him again. She left the town behind, the memories tucked away in a corner of her heart, knowing that some loves, no matter how powerful, were not meant to last. Years later, Emily found herself in a quiet moment of reflection. She had moved on, found happiness in other ways, but she never forgot the love she had shared with James. The locket, though no longer hers, remained a symbol of a time when love was simple and pure. As she looked out at the sunset, she whispered a silent thank you to the universe for giving her that second chance, even if it was only for a little while. Some loves, she realized, were meant to be cherished, even if they couldn't last forever.